Instagram Live and Facebook Live on my computer. So just hanging with me there. Happy Friday. Today I'm going to talk about something that I'm deeply passionate about, and that's about using ketamine-assisted psychotherapy for achieving your really optimal performance, and how to use ketamine-assisted psychotherapy to help yourself with stress, mental fog, and decision fatigue, burnout, exhaustion, all that good stuff that we are definitely struggling here in Bay Area, California. So, a couple of things, just talking about how we live in this area where there's constant pressure to perform, constant pressure to achieve, constant pressure to be on. There's not enough disconnection happening between our job and our lives, and so there's a lot of people who are always running on this on mode and unable to disconnect, unable to take a mental break, unable to have that downtime to recover from this constant pressure, stress, and overwhelm. And I don't know if you have experienced this, but I was in yoga class today, and I was actually, it's funny, I was thinking about this live as I was doing a posture, and then I caught myself. I'm like, well, this is exactly the problem, right? The problem is that we a lot of times have this mind that's always running, always thinking, always planning, always producing, right? And there's not enough, and from performance management and knowing about optimal performance, that there's need to be a period of go, and some stress and pressure is good there to help you reach your optimal performance. But there's always needs to be a downtime where there's no distraction, where you're completely disconnected from your thinking mind, and when you can really recover. Your body can recover, your mind can recover, your emotion can recover. And a lot of times we don't have that. It's just constant on mode that eventually ends up in burnout and exhaustion, because to really perform optimally, you need to have periods of rest and recovery. And a lot of times we don't have that, especially with our mind. In San Francisco Bay Area is so mind-oriented culture, America, Western culture in general, but especially here, because so many ideas, innovations, right? There's a lot of activity happening in the head, and so that's a lot of mental activity happening. And so if there's not enough of quiet time, silence, reflection, then you get mental fatigue, decision fatigue, and your mind just cannot perform as good as it would if it had normal periods of rest. And that's where ketamine-assisted psychotherapy comes in, because ketamine-assisted psychotherapy is designed to give your mind a break. It's kind of like a vacation that your mind is forced to go on. So a lot of people can't turn the mind off. A lot of people cannot meditate because it's just too much. A lot of people, when they struggle with sleep, because they go lay down and they're thinking about tomorrow or planning, or so there's a lot of like I said, mental activity. Of course, meditation is great for that, right? I love meditation. Have been meditating for a long time. Haven't been practicing so much in the cushion lately, but definitely a big fan of mindfulness and meditation. And 10 years ago, when I worked in corporate, mindfulness-based stress reduction was really helpful. It really helped me with managing stress. And yet, the effort to sit down and meditate when you have, oh no. Oh, is it on Facebook Live, Taya? My friend just told me that there's no sound. That's a bummer. Okay, I might have to repost, because I'm both on what you call it, Instagram and Facebook Live, and that's why maybe on Facebook Live I'm thinking, there's people watching me on Instagram. Can you hear me? There's two people. I can see you guys. Okay, if you can just let me know that you can hear me, that'd be great. And on Facebook, I'm sorry if you cannot. Oh, here's. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, Taya is saying that the okay. I don't know if I can correct it right now, unfortunately. So if it doesn't work here, I'm gonna just repost the link to video. So I'll have to do that because I just can't fix it right now. Yeah. Let me just see if I can do something. Manage. I think it's just my computer. So bummer. Next time. And I did check. Let me see. Okay, I can put my headphones on. I'll put my headphones on. Here we go. I'll do that. Is it better? Okay, I hope that's better. Okay, I hope it's better. I'll try that, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll just repost video from Instagram. So what I was saying is that mental break is essential, but it's very hard to do it. It's very hard to meditate, to force yourself to slow down, and that's where we have things like ketamine really helpful to come in, because it's kind of like a forced mental break where your mind just because it's a outside chemical, your mind is just doesn't have a choice. It's forced to take a vacation. And for usually the ketamine itself doesn't last too long. It's only like 45 minutes to an hour. And usually during that time, your mind is really resting. So in a way, it's really helpful when you feel like this on, and really cannot slow down and take a break. This is like in a way, forced mental vacation where your mind's really relaxed. That's why it's so helpful for anxiety. And that's additionally to how ketamine affects your brain, and how, I'm not an expert, like I'm not really good at talking about like the chemicals and all that. It's just not my area of expertise. I'm really a therapist, so I know how your mind works, how your emotions work, and so I'm more an expert on what's happening in your psychology and psyche versus like the brain chemistry. But the brain chemistry is effective, and it is helpful to reduce anxiety levels. That's why it's so good for anxiety. Or I remember when I was postpartum and I got into this like really anxious loop where I was constantly worrying about the baby, and I did some ketamine assisted psychotherapy, and I didn't feel like I was so calm. I felt like I was reset, and that's what it is. It's ketamine assisted psychotherapy is a reset to help you get to something more natural to you, and then you can stay there for a couple weeks unless you address the root cause. But it was so helpful for anxiety. I remember feeling like, oh my God, it's nice not to be anxious and finally have a reset that I couldn't provide externally. Yes, it's internally. Yes, it's external. But it's so helpful when we're really stuck and we can't reset our system from inside, like nervous system from inside, because we're so stuck in this constant anxiety loop. So another thing I was going to talk to you about is there are two ways to do ketamine these days. And one is infusions, so you can go to psychiatrist's office and have infusions of ketamine, and another way do lozenges and have a therapist be with you. And either way, they're actually different. Either way, you get ketamine to your brain, and it will help to reset. The difference is when you don't have a therapy with it, when you don't take that state and use it for your reflection, to reflect on your internal patterns and the root causes, that's gonna be that. It's a brain reset, and you'll have to do it every so often. So it's gonna be like this: you stressed, you accumulated some stress, some mind is going crazy, cannot relax, cannot slow down. You can do ketamine infusion, and it's gonna reset your brain, clear it out, and for a while you're gonna be calm and have that mental clarity. So that's one way to do it. It's helpful, And the way I do it, and the way I really advocating to do it, is also do something that you can go deeper with it. So you're already entering this altered state of consciousness that gives you a different perspective, that shifts your mentality, right? Shifts your how you normally think and feel about things, gives you more access to parts of your brain that are not usually accessible. So if you take that and use it to reflect on the root causes of anxiety. Oh, I'm just realizing that Instagram might not also have a good video. Okay, well, if this sound doesn't work, then I'll just redo it another day, because this is a cool topic. And this is going to be just like my trial run. So come back to that. It's when you do combine ketamine with therapy, you have a chance to take that very productive state of expanded consciousness and look what are the root causes of your anxiety and maybe depression are, which is such a more productive way to do it. And you already, it's kind of like, I feel like not doing that is a waste, because you can have more insights into what's happening. Of course, with guidance, with the structure of a therapy, it needs to be a safe container. You can process things from the past. There's a lot of energy drain, like we have drained energy when you don't process our emotions correctly, and a lot of people don't process their emotions correctly, and sometimes we have like a backlog in emotion, an emotional constipation, if you will, because it's a good analogy. It's just the same process, just a different like energy, right? Instead of physical food being backlogged in our body, it's emotional energy, and that creates exhaustion and fatigue and burnout. And ketamine can help with that emotional processing if you have that sort of not processed emotions in your body, which helps with overall energy. And also, ketamine increases neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is increased for the next, it's like 48, 72 hours. So a couple of days you have really fruitful soul to implant new behaviors, new changes, to, again, create that different mindset, process something, the pattern, change the pattern that's not really working for you. So it's, increases neuroplasticity and rewires your brain. And it really gives you, so ketamine combined with ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, it really creates breakthrough results. It's a good way to address the plateau, like when you been in therapy, but it's kind of like you need a boost, there's been a plateau, then it's a good way to go deeper in your psychotherapy process, in your internal process, because it gets you to, just allows you to go deeper in your psyche. So again, the benefits, right? It's after ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, usually people have more clarity and focus. It gives you a boost in clarity and focus. Gives you a really calm, peaceful state for a while, for some time, and then you still need to know how to produce it from inside, because otherwise you're just gonna rely on this external source, which is okay for short-term solution. Stress reduction. So usually the stress gets reduced from like if you're using a 0 to 10 scale, and people come in and they have like 8, 9 stress levels. Usually it's 1, 2 after. And it's also increases your creativity and innovation, because you get access to the parts of your brain that you don't normally access. So you expanding your ability to problem solve and see new solutions to the problems. Couple concerns that I often come up for people who want to try it. Of course, it is a chemical, and people say, well, can you get addicted to ketamine? And the truth is you can. That's why people who have active addictions might not be the best way to, might not be the best tool. We all know what happened to Matthew Perry, who it wasn't just ketamine that he was on. He was also actively using other substances, but ketamine was prescribed to him, and he was abusing it, and he drowned at home while on it, or it was present in his blood. So yeah, it's a tool that potentially can be dangerous, and so it needs to be used with caution. And for people who have addictive tendencies, who have an active addiction, probably contraindicated. Well, another thing is it safe? Will I lose control? That's another concern that comes up. And it is very safe. And again, you do need a structured environment to keep you safe. So you do need a therapist and somebody there present with you, because on ketamine you do sometimes lose ability to walk or get up. So like you lose it. Sometimes it's hard to move the body. So if you need to go to the bathroom and things like that, you might need help. So of course you need to be in a safe environment with people who know what they're doing with this therapy. And another concern, is it legal? And yes, it's legal. It's fully approved by FDA. I do psychotherapeutic portion of it, so it's fully legal and available. So that takes care of that question, that concern. So if you have any question, and again, if this didn't go well with my sound, I'm gonna test it and redo it, because I can be talking about this for hours. So this is just an introduction. Of course, if you're interested or you know somebody who can benefit, I'll just repeat what it can be used for depression, for anxiety, just after some main things, and really stress reduction, when you just feel like you're so stressed you cannot calm down, cannot regulate yourself, and you have very active mental chatter, or mind is so active that it interferes with your sleeping, interferes with your decision making process. That's an excellent tool for that, to add to your process. The way I do it, I do ketamine-assisted psychotherapy in 3 stages. There's a preparation stage, there's an active dosing session, and integration stage. And all 3 stages are important. So if you feel like it's something that can work really well for you this year, then you can reach out. We can talk about setting up our preparation. It can be done with Zoom, in person. It's preparation therapy sessions where we really set intentions, we look at your history, we analyze where's your problems coming from, and then we do a dosing session, which is a session with ketamine. And you take ketamine, I don't take ketamine, ketamine for you. And then I'm there for that session, so we do a little talking, then there's a process to go through while you're under influence, and then there's an integration piece. So that whole process is usually about 2 months, and you can repeat it if needed, but you can start with just one. And I work with a couple of prescribers. I have a prescriber who does IVs, and he's in Livermore, and I have a prescriber who can send ketamine to your home. It's really convenient. And then so that's one infusion, or not infusion, but that's one session is about 2 months, maybe 7 weeks. And then you see how it is, and you maybe do it again. Some people do want to do it like a course of treatment, like 6 sessions. Some people just do one, and then they reflect and integrate. So it's really up to you and what you need. So you can comment below with any questions. You can message me. You can reach out and tell me if you're interested in trying this out this year. And I hope this worked, because and if not, I'll do it again. Okay, I'm gonna go check now. Happy Friday. See you soon.